Warning: the following will contain mature topics. Tsundoku, noun. Language of origin, Japanese. Meaning: the act of acquiring books but allowing them to pile up unread.
If Baccarat is a thinking man's gambling game, then Pachinko is one for people wowed by pretty lights. A mainstay in Japan, the concept has 100 years of legacy behind it, but has never made too many inroads in America. A combination of pinball and what most Americans would know as Plinko from The Price is Right, players fire ball bearings to rank up high scores and prizes. My name is Chad Bonnet, and this is D-Pads and DLC, a look at retro and retro-inspired games. What's more retro than a game with a century of gameplay behind it? Gambling titles have always had a hard road when it comes to going digitally. There's rarely a chance for real-world prizes to be won, and the entry cost is usually much higher than the dollar you can play in Las Vegas. Dolores Entertainment has brought the concept to the Switch in a new and affordable title. For the price of a value meal, 2 women and 4 boards are at your beck and call. Is this title truly on a roll, or has the hot streak died down? Join me as we plunge into the Tsundoku zone and check out Pachi Pachi on a roll.
Comics, games, animation, and a variety of henshin credible superhero shows from Japan. Chad Bonnet guides you through the Tsundoku zone.
While the game features a T for teen rating, it's less for the gambling and more for the background entertainment. Nobody's ever said Las Vegas was bereft of skin, but historically, Nintendo has been. Times have changed. In a world where Sony's more restrictive about the content on its consoles than Nintendo, the games will follow. Pachi Pachi on a Roll, which I'm just going to shorthand to Pachi from here on out, features very little gambling in it, outside of a few thematic elements, nothing more than you'd see in Casino Night Zone. The gameplay is about as basic as you can get. A crane automatically moves from left to right at the top of the screen, and the player can choose when to drop a ball. That's the extent of the gameplay for much of the title. Perfectly timed drops are paramount to your success. When a ball hits a pin, it'll act like Peggle and change the color of it for the most part. Certain pins will unlock certain bonuses, and since this is a video game and not an actual machine, gameplay elements can go beyond. Breaking apart frozen satellites will release a shockwave triggering multiple pins, destructible plants can make new paths, and you can even fight UFOs. Given certain triggers, you'll even unlock a few minigames. One takes clear inspiration from Alleyway, another brings a pinball machine to the mix, and even a third triggers a bit of flashback to the end of Yoshi's Island. On the left of the screen, each stage has its own unique goals, showing 4 at a time. Accomplishing these will both rotate in new ones and raise your score. Moving forward requires higher scores in the completion of these goals, unlocking 3 additional levels in collectible art. Oh, the art. It's hard not to miss the background elements present in this title, and it's why you had that nice little alert at the beginning of this video. The game constantly features 2 heroines on the back of the screen, each moaning with delight as certain pins will help remove clothes from them. It's laughably awkward in handheld mode, as people will just hear the moans. Nobody ever gets fully naked, but there's enough skin that you might not want to load this up in your office. The girls, per the eShop description and mentioned nowhere else, are Fujiko and Robin, and are out to rob 4 casinos in Money City. Not that I expect a Pachinko title to have a story mode, though it's not unheard of, but it's a bit disappointing that there's nothing akin to a simple scrolling text preface in the game. It's mildly entertaining the first go-around, but it's like BMX, XXX, or Hooters. You can't serve up a subpar product and hope a little TNA enhances it. Ironically, incidental art seems to have a style that would actually enhance the game and not distract from it. The choice of background elements would be forgivable if the game succeeded in all other presentation aspects. Try to enjoy this celebratory song that goes on for way too long and prevents you from playing, for example. Look at the face on this one character and try not to cringe. Is she okay? While the gameplay is simple, the game still finds ways to glitch out. For instance, I had to fully restart the title when a black hole on the space level just took my ball and left. Other times, the pins wouldn't mark themselves as having been triggered. Then, there's the minigames. The problem is, these are never clear on how to control. For example, I slammed every button trying to get the pinball machine to work to no avail. The breakout clone starts too soon for a novice user to succeed in hitting anything. The boss battle is a crapshoot in actually aiming hits. Using just a power meter, the user has no control over other than hitting fire. With 4 stages, 1 input button, and a bevy of problems, it's hard to recommend Pachi as a solid purchase. Yet it's hard to deny that I sunk 2 to 3 hours in it in one day, which is not a bad return on investment. If it hits a sale and you know what you're going into, it could be worth some of your time, with the volume down and away from prying eyes. Beyond that, there are better Pachinko titles out in the world, and this isn't the cream of the crop. That's it for the Tsundoku Zone, but the stack never ends.